going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Launchpad. Tanner Thompson with Lvnding. I am joined today by a very, very special guest. His name is Decimate. How are you doing? Thanks for joining me.
What's up, guys? I'm chilling, just grinding, working hard, getting these tunes locked in.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. The last time I saw you, you were rocking at some bar in Tempe with Monks. How you been since then?
Oh my God. That was a good show. That was a packed show. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. That month, February was like, I think I had 4 shows that month. So it was pretty cool.
Cool, man. And now you've just been back in the studio grinding?
Yeah, essentially. This next month, April, I don't have any shows. I took off this month so I could just like focus. But yeah, I've been trying to hammer out like a new EP that we could send out to labels and stuff like that. And I'm pretty much in the last final stretch right now.
Awesome, man. Well, that's super stoked to hear. Well, I know who you are, and most, hardcore dubstep fans will know as well. But, tell us a little bit about your background. How'd you get into music production in the beginning?
So I started making music when I was a sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a getaway for me, like I was lucky because my grandparents, they purchased my DAW at the time. I was using Reason, and my grandma had previously bought me a MacBook when I was like 10. So I started producing when I was in 10th grade, and it was not good music at first, I'll tell you. It was very, very, very low quality. But, as the time rolled on, I got better and better. I did different aliases. I started with Decimate. I created Decimate when I was a sophomore. But for some reason, I didn't like it. And I started making other aliases. Yeah, I made an alias called Coalition once. And it was super wubby, like deep dubstep stuff that like, it's like kind of like the roots of dubstep, like super old school stuff. That didn't really go anywhere. And then I had an opportunity to work with a pretty cool artist at the time. His name was Supreme. And we made a dubstep track, and it got released on Disciple. It was like my first release. And that's why I stuck with Decimate, because it got released under Decimate. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go with the name. I personally, at the time, I didn't even like the name Decimate, but it just stuck.
Yeah, no, I think it fits. I like it a lot. I mean,
yeah.
And why bass music and why dubstep? What specifically, brought you into that genre?
So to be honest, before high school, I wasn't interested in bass music or anything like that. I didn't even know what music I liked. It was like whatever my parents would play or whatever was on the fucking radio, which sucked, dude. I remember for a period of time, I like loved Lady Gaga. I was like super into Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga's sick.
It was weird, man. Like I had a group of friends that I would hang around when I was in high school, met a new group of people, and they showed me freaking dubstep for the first time. I think my friend Jessica showed me Rusko Pro Nails, and it's like a super like wobbly, sick ass freaking song.
Yeah.
And after that, I like looked it up on YouTube, and it was like Excision and Datsik, fucking Swaggo was like a related video to go to after. And I clicked that and I fell in love instantly. I was like, okay, well, this shit's dope. And it actually makes me want to like move and like do weird shit. And I set forth in my mind, I was like, I'm going to figure out how to do this. Cause like every time I listened to music like that in that era, I was always like, how the fuck did they make this shit? Like how? And I wanted to learn how. So I just started watching YouTube videos and shit and like kind of teaching myself, It's always a learning experience. Every time I produce, even now, like I'm always learning stuff. So
that's super impressive, man. Well, thanks for filling me in. Is there anyone, I know you mentioned a few artists, but is there anyone else you really sort of inspired you while you began to make music, or maybe like the first show you went to and you were like, wow, this is insane, I want to be like this?
Yeah. Okay. So like in that day, that was around like 2010. So things were different for dubstep in that time frame. Like Skrillex didn't even release Scary Monsters yet. It was like he was super underground, and it was just a different sound at that time. But I remember, like, I've always been interested in the like super dirty, like different, like dark, evil kind of dubstep. And I was like a really big fan of Charlie Snatcha, if you ever heard of Charlie Snatcha. Zed's Dead was like a huge inspiration for me. Just like I was listening to their shit from the get-go. I remember like before I even started making like cool stuff, I would listen to like Nero, a little bit of MLK. But this is like a different time back then. Like I don't really listen to them much now, although I will pull up some of their old ass tunes still. Like Charlie Snatcha is fucking gnarly. Charlie Snatcha is like, you could tell Trampa was inspired a lot heavily by Charlie Snatcha. But yeah, through the like times it changed, you know, like as I've been producing, I've had different inspirations throughout like my evolution of creation. I remember Gentlemen's Club, before they started doing their house stuff, they were like 50 Carat, Coffee, and Solomon, and they were all producing like really interesting like rhythm style shit at the time, and I was really inspired by that. And then it like turned into like Bad Clat was like inspiring me some shit, and then like Space Laces and Virtual Riot. And you know, at this time, like where I am right now, I kind of get inspired just by like my homies' music, because I listen to, I don't really find myself listening to like SoundCloud a lot these days, or like shuffling like dubstep tunes. I have a huge library of like exclusive music that my friends make and then they send me, and that just kind of fuels me. Like I like the shit that nobody's ever heard. I like that, you know what I'm saying? Like and I'm the same way with my music. Like when I play shows, I play a bunch of originals, and if they're not originals, they're all unreleased. Like nobody knows what the fuck I'm playing, so I like to keep it fresh. Yeah,
no, I love that. I mean, when I like going to these shows, especially dubstep shows, I like hearing cool stuff I've never heard before. Like I'm not necessarily going to hear the same songs that I've heard a million times. I want to hear those IDs and all the crazy shit people have been making.
The shock factor, bro. It's like I live for that moment when the crowd's like, oh, you know, like that's just what I love to do. I love to have a really cool intro to my sets as well, and I like to have like not necessarily an outro, but what I do with effects and stuff like that makes it like an outro. And like always being interactive with the crowd and stuff like that. That's the shit that fuels me as an artist. Having a conversation, like talking back and forth, you know?
Yeah, no, I know we missed that so much, you know, throughout COVID when that wasn't a thing. So I'm so happy we're back to where we can do that and where we can have that interactive space with artists.
I'm stoked that you got to see the freaking show at Sunbar, because that was probably one of my best performances.
It was rocking, man, the whole time. I had so much fun. It was
sold out, bro. It was packed.
It was so fun, the venue there. And I mean, you got to come back to Tempe again soon, man. We'd love to have you.
Of course. Definitely. Where are you? I think that there's some stuff in the works right now. I'm not 100% too sure what, but my manager has told me that they're working on stuff in Phoenix again. So
dope. Yeah, I've met Jason before. Jason's awesome. So
hopefully
awesome, man. Well, cool. And I guess we can talk a little bit about the last couple of years in COVID and stuff. I know you released a lot of music over the last 2 years. Is there anything you did throughout that time that made you successful now? Were you just grinding in the studio? Were you doing a bunch of live streams? What was your plan?
Luckily, you know, I didn't really have anything to tie me down during that time. And at the time I was still living at home, like with my mom. So I literally had just free time. I was able to just focus on my project. Now I live in DC with my girlfriend, but so during that time, I would say like towards the end of 2019 and then all the way through 2020, I didn't really step outside much. I was in the studio a lot. Like if I wasn't producing music, I was playing games with my friends. I'm like a huge community driven like person. And shout out Savage Society, my gang. We always are on Discord and chatting and sending stuff back and forth. But yeah, I cranked out like, I don't even know, close to like 50 tracks in 2020. And I was able to release all of them. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them last year. Um, I use that time to focus on the project and really kind of set my project up to like be able to juggle life and the project later on, because I knew that I wasn't really going to have this time again. So
Yeah.
I really cranked out a bunch of music. I'm still sitting on like a bunch of music that I haven't released. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I think I released 26 tracks last year. And this year I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm gonna be releasing a little bit less, and just focusing more on like where like the aesthetic of my releases and the marketing of my releases and stuff like that. So I'm trying to, level up a little bit and get more shows and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think it was just like a good foundation to do.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I help manage artists as well. And the big thing that someone I work closely with was hammering that just lock yourself in the studio and grind out as much tunes as possible, because it's going to pay dividends. And obviously it has.
And it's so hard sometimes to like find the time to do that.
Right.
So yeah, especially if you're juggling like a job too,
Yeah.
So at the time I was lucky. I didn't have anything at all. I was just just a hermit in the studio, just locked in.
Well, it's paid off, man. I know you've had some really good numbers over the past couple of years, and I've heard your heavy stuff. I've heard your rhythm stuff. You have some melodic tracks as well, like Love Potion, which is great. Is there any sort of general direction for the program? Are you keeping it sort of broad, still producing everything?
I don't really like want to say that there's necessarily a direction. I mean, I'm staying true to like my roots, which is dubstep, obviously. I will forever make dubstep, and that's like my main thing. But I don't want to like hold myself back. Although where I am right now, it's like I have to make sure that I have a handful of fresh dubstep tunes like every year. You know what I'm saying? Like once I get that locked out, then I can like start working on like experimental shit or figuring something else out, But I do want to be able to, Jason and I are talking about like, creating just different genres and stuff like that. That way, I can like play bigger slots and festivals or whatever. Like whatever it is, I don't want to be locked into one thing. So yeah, if somebody wants to make like a trap tune, fuck it. Like I don't really make trap, but I could probably make a fucking banger trap tune. I mean, I've made house music, so yeah.
Cool, man. No, I love that answer a lot. Thanks for filling us in. I know you mentioned Discord and probably gaming and whatnot, but what sort of hobbies do you do other than music production?
To be honest with you, hobbies that I do, I like to travel. So that goes hand in hand with like my project and stuff, because sometimes like I'll travel somewhere new and I'll just extend the trip. And my girlfriend and I, we love to travel. That's like our main thing that we do. So we like to go get out and like see new things. But besides that, yeah, I just like to play games on my free time or watch movies and stuff, bum it, smoke weed.
There we go. What's your favorite place you traveled? Have you been to Europe?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I've been to Europe. I've been to London, I've been to France, I've been to a lot of places actually in Europe. But my favorite place that I've ever traveled would probably be Japan.
Oh, nice. That's on my list for sure.
I've been to Tokyo and Osaka. Luckily, I was able to play a show out there, and we were there for 2 weeks. We did a week in Osaka and a week in Tokyo. It's a completely different world, man. It's like submersing yourself into like an alien planet, and it's fucking awesome. I loved it. Second top place, probably Australia. And then third place, kind of close to home for me because like my family is Hawaii. But
that's awesome, man. Yeah. I love Australia and Japan are definitely on my list for sure.
Yeah, those were like before that happened, I was like, these are my bucket list right here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I bet those were insane. Yeah, I've been to most of the Hawaiian islands, luckily, and I lived in Prague for a couple months over the summer.
Oh shit, Prague,
which was such a dope experience. I would check it out.
I do want to do that. I've never been there. That sounds sick.
It is sick. The beer there, so if you go out to dinner, buying beer is cheaper than water.
Oh, what?
Little fun fact, yeah, because you have.
Water's not free?
No, it's not free. So I think most countries in Europe, you buy water. So at
Oh,
least in
that's
the Czech
interesting.
Republic, it was just cheaper to drink beer. So a fun little fun fact.
It's like, all right, I guess we're drinking beer, man.
Yeah, there we go.
We're getting
Uh,
dehydrated.
yeah, right. 100%. And so you live in DC now. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in LA. I'm originally
Oh,
from
no way.
LA, so I'm a California guy.
Where?
Um,
Where in LA?
so you know where Santa Clarita is? Do you know where
I
Magic
know.
Mountain is? Six Flags?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That
Yeah.
area. That's where I
Okay,
grew up. Yeah.
cool. I'm from Torrance originally,
Okay,
if you know where that
that's not
is.
that far. Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
closer to the
I
coast.
grew up, I went to elementary school, junior high, high school, all out in Santa Clarita. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Any interest in moving back?
Um, to Santa Clarita, no, not really, but
Okay.
California, yeah. I think
Yeah.
like maybe San Diego or something.
Cool. Yeah, I was
Definitely.
actually just there checking out that new Nova Club that Insomniac
Oh,
has
what?
down
How
there.
is that?
It's so dope, man. It's super sick. It's like a circle with multiple levels where you can see it from it's just a dope. You got to experience it
Insomniac is
yourself.
really good at like doing up clubs. They did Academy really,
Yeah.
really well. They have like the LED walls all the way around it and on the ceilings. I was like, holy
Mhm.
shit, bro. They go over and beyond for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
That's dope.
Cool. Are you into, it's kind of switching gears here. Are you into the NFT crypto stuff at all?
So I'm like pretty big into crypto. I
Really?
haven't been paying attention to it as much lately just because like the crash and everything like that. I kind of
Hmm.
just let my bags ride.
Hmm.
But NFTs, I haven't personally gotten into. I wish that I did. A bunch of my friends were making a fuck ton of money off that. But I'm just kind of like a long-term holder type of a guy.
Hmm.
I've done some like swing trades and stuff. I trade stocks as well. But that's like, I guess if you were to classify another hobby, that would be another hobby of mine. It's more so just trying to find
Okay.
like other sources of income, you know?
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. So do you trade in the mornings before you start producing, or what's your day look like with that?
So I don't really do day trades. Like I said, I'm
Okay.
like a long-term person. So I'll
Hmm.
just like hold on to, I'll like get into a stock, but I'm really good at reading charts.
Okay.
I'm just like a fucking nerd, dude. I'm like big time, like I know a lot of shit, but yeah, I look for the long plays.
Okay.
I do.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know a ton of that about that. I have a few different NFTs and top shots
Nice.
and stuff,
I
but
wish I
I've
got
seen,
NFTs.
yeah, I've seen artists do a lot of cool things with them as well. I'm curious to see. It feels like we're just at the beginning with that stuff as well, so
Oh
should be
yeah, for
fun.
sure. Like there's just a whole world of possibilities. I mean, personally, I think that our future is going to be run off the blockchain, like the internet and everything like that. So it'll be awesome to see where it goes. And that's why I hold long.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Smart man. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the it's only getting, the metaverse and all that is just going further from here.
Yep.
Even like video game graphics now, like I heard Elon Musk say this, but pretty soon he thinks we're not going to be able to tell the difference between like, reality and virtual stuff, especially with how
Oh
good
man,
these
I can't
graphics
wait for
are.
that day.
It's exciting and it's also a little scary at the same
It's
time.
scary. It's like it reminds me of Ready Player One. You seen that
Right. It's
movie?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that movie's sick, man. They need to make a Ready Player Two.
I would love that. Well, cool, man. A couple more things. We like gratitude a lot here at Moon Landing. So, is there anything that you're especially grateful for or thankful for right now?
I mean, I'm thankful for my fan base and just the fact that I'm able to do what I do and play shows and stuff. I don't really know what else I would be doing with my life, to be honest. So it's like really cool that I'm able to do this and like
Mm-hmm.
pay my fucking bills and all that shit. So definitely thankful for that. I'm thankful for you guys. I don't know if you remember, but at what was it called? Oh, Gold Rush. I played at Gold Rush.
Yeah.
You guys gave me a really sweet fan, so I'm thankful for that. Speaking of
Yeah,
fans.
yeah, of course. I remember that you came by the booth. You have to come by again
Yeah.
sometime soon.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Hopefully I play Gold Rush next year. It'd be sick. Or
Yeah,
the
man.
next one this year.
Yeah, 100%. We'd love to have you. Cool. Anything like you can maybe tease for coming up or anything big in the works that people should be excited for?
So, as I was mentioning that I've been in the studio all day,
Hmm.
I would like to say that 5 out of the 6 tracks that I want to be on an EP, but it probably won't be all 6, are pretty much done. And it's brand new. Nobody's heard them except you probably heard it. I opened my set with one of them.
Okay.
It was pretty crazy. It's called Nebulous, but I've been getting really good crowd reactions out of them, and I would have to say that it sounds nothing like any of my other stuff. Like, I've always been trying to just keep switching it up and like making new sounds. Some of my fans are upset about it because like I don't sound as like the same as I used to or whatever, but that's the whole point. Like, I'm trying to just keep it going, you know, like I have those songs, like I can play them in my shows, in my sets and on my shows and stuff, but like I'm trying to keep it going. So all this sounds different. Each track is completely different as well. So it's really cool. I went about producing it in a completely different way than I usually do. I usually just like produce a track and finish it, but I started each track separately and just worked on them like kind of like piece by piece, like at the same time. So you can kind of have like a little, like it kind of ties it in together in a way. So it's really cool. I don't have any plans to release it yet, but once we wrap up this last tune, I have a collab with my boy Hamro. Once we wrap this up, then Jason's going to be sending it out to labels like Cyclops and stuff like that. So hopefully it gets picked up by a big label and I could give you guys more information. But besides that, I do have a few releases lined up. I have a release with 40 Ounce Colt, my boy Dak Daniels. He always releases my shit, and I respect that, and I respect him. He's another Los Angeles related gang over there. But yeah, I have a track called Vegan Chocolate Chip that's going to be released on there. And then I have a track coming out on Savage Society called Concrete Mouthwash. So look out for those.
Dope, man. I'm excited to hear all those for sure. Well, this has been awesome, man. My last question here is probably the most important question of all.
Yeah.
Wheels or doors? Which side are you on?
Wheels or doors?
How many more are there in the world? Are there more doors or more wheels?
Damn. That's a pretty interesting question. I would have to say maybe more wheels.
Okay, I'm on team wheels myself too.
Okay, team wheels. Yeah. I mean, there's 4 wheels for every car, probably more with all the semis.
Right.
And then you could count so many other things as a wheel. My mouse has a little jog wheel in it.
There we go. The wheels on the bottom of your chair too.
Dude, the wheels on the bus go round and round, bro.
Awesome, man. Well, Decimate, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody go check him out. And that'll be all for today. Thank you guys for watching again.
Thank you, Moon Landing.